Hello and welcome to second part of this presentation on Introduction to Geometric Dimensioning and Tolerancing. This is Dr. A. Raghunath from Aditi Consultancy Services. In the first part, I had discussed about form and orientation tolerances. In this part, I will be discussing about profile, runout, and location tolerances. As I had mentioned earlier, GD&T is a vast subject. In this presentation, I will be giving a very brief introduction to some of the important aspects of these tolerances. Profile category has two geometrical tolerances, profile of a surface and profile of a line. Both these tolerances can be applied to any surface of a part, but they are mainly used for controlling irregular surfaces. For a part like this, which is a cam, if a profile of a surface is applied, the drawing will look like this. All the dimensions required to create this outer profile are shown as basic dimension, and a profile of surface 0.1 mm is applied to the outer surface. Let us try to understand the meaning of this tolerance. Profile of a surface is a three-dimensional tolerance zone. It is created using two offset profiles with respect to the nominal profile. Distance between these two profiles is equal to the stated tolerance value in the feature control frame. The two limiting boundaries are equidistant from the nominal profile. This figure shows two manufactured parts produced targeting the nominal profile. As we observe here, both the parts have irregularities on the contoured surface. The requirement as per the drawing is that with all these deviations, the points on the contoured surface should be inside the 0.1 mm profile tolerance zone. Now, when you superimpose the tolerance zone on this actual profile, you observe that in the first case, all the points with all the deviations are inside the tolerance zone, whereas in the second case, some of the points are outside the tolerance zone. So the first part will get accepted and the second one will get rejected. In a part like this, if you want to control the top contoured surface, the left and right vertical surfaces and the bottom planar surface all together as one single contiguous surface, then the drawing will look like this. At the junction of this leader line of this feature control frame, a circle is shown. The meaning of this is all around the outer surface of this part should get controlled within a profile of a surface tolerance of 0.1 mm. The three-dimensional profile of a surface tolerance zone applicable in this case is as shown in this sketch. The two all-around limiting boundaries of the profile tolerance zone are derived from the nominal profile. If the design requirement of this part calls for controlling only the top surface of this part, excluding the two side and bottom planar surfaces, then the drawing will look like this. Here, below the feature control frame of this profile of surface tolerance, a symbol like this is shown. Meaning of this is this profile of surface tolerance of 0.1 mm is applicable only for the features between points C and D. The dimensions of this part only between point C and D are basic. The profile of surface tolerance zone is now created as shown in this figure using two offset curves of all the nominal features of the top surface only between the 2 points C and D. For acceptability of any manufactured part, when the profile of surface tolerance zone is superimposed over the actual profile of the top surface of the part, the points on the surface with all the deviations should lie within the tolerance zone. In this drawing, you see that the profile of surface tolerance is specified with respect to datum A. Meaning of this is that The bottom surface of this part is also functional, means this part in assembly is mounted using the datum surface A. Now the profile of surface 0.1 mm specified in the feature control frame will not only control the irregularities of the top surface between the 2 points C and D, but it will also locate the top surface with respect to datum A. Unlike the previous case where the profile of surface tolerance zone was floating in nature, in this case it is a fixed one. The tolerance zone will get fixed with respect to datum A. Now you see this locating dimension 20 mm is also basic. So apart from any variation in the profile of the top surface of the part, variation in this locating dimension also will lead to rejection of the parts. Let us see what is profile of a line. If you apply profile of a line tolerance to the contoured surface of a master cam like this, the drawing will look like this. Difference between this drawing and the previous case where the profile of surface was applied is only the symbol is different. All other details are same. Let's see what is the meaning of this profile of a line tolerance. Profile of a surface is a three-dimensional tolerance, whereas profile of a line is a two-dimensional tolerance. So for inspection of profile of a line error, you will have to consider a normal plane intersecting with the part surface. Intersection of that plane and the part surface will be a two-dimensional profile. For that nominal two-dimensional profile, if you consider two equidistant offset profiles, distance between the two being equal to the stated profile of a line tolerance in the feature control frame, that would be the applicable tolerance zone for measurement purpose. For checking the manufactured parts, the actual profile at the selected measurement plane should be derived by extracting the points on the part surface using a measuring machine. The extracted points on the actual profile should be inside the derived two-dimensional tolerance zone at that plane. If all the points on the actual profile are inside the tolerance zone, as in the case of part 1 here, the part will get accepted. If some points on the surface are outside the tolerance zone, as in the case of part 2 here, the part will get rejected. This measurement is repeated at different cross sections. In this drawing, a profile of a line tolerance of 0.1 mm with all around symbol is shown. In this case also, an intersecting plane is selected for measurement. The intersection of the plane with all the features of the part will give an all around two-dimensional nominal profile in that plane. From the nominal profile, a two-dimensional profile of line tolerance zone is generated. Now on a manufactured part, if the points are extracted exactly on the same plane, all the extracted points all around the cross section should be inside the profile of line tolerance zone. Similarly, all other design aspects applicable for profile of a surface are also applicable for profile of a line. The major advantage of profile of a line tolerance is, since it is a two-dimensional control, it can be applied to a part surface to control the profile in a particular direction only. To meet a design requirement, if required, the Two profile of a line controls can be applied to the same part surface in different directions with different tolerance values as shown in this drawing. These are not possible in case of a profile of a surface control. Let us see what is runout. Under runout category, there are two geometrical tolerances, circular runout and total runout. Both these runout tolerances can be specified only for rotating parts. Circular runout is a two-dimensional tolerance, whereas total runout is a three-dimensional tolerance. In this figure, you see 0.5 mm. Circular runout is specified to the surface of 100 mm cylindrical feature with respect to datum A. Datum A is axis of 50 mm cylindrical feature. This figure shows how circular runout is measured on a part. For measurement purpose, a plane perpendicular to datum axis and intersecting with the surface of the 100 mm cylindrical feature is considered. Intersection of this plane and the surface of the cylindrical feature is supposed to be a circle. When the job is rotated about the datum axis, the probe of the dial indicator will trace all the points on this circular element. For one full rotation of the job about the datum axis, how much is the total up and down movement of the probe of this dial indicator will be noted down. This measurement can be repeated at different cross sections, tracing the different circular elements of the part surface. So, in a circular runout, when the job rotates about the datum axis, the full indicator movement should be lesser than the given runout error. Since the probe traces the circular elements on the part surface, this is called circular runout. Let us see what is total runout. In this figure, a total runout of 0.02 mm is specified to the surface of the bigger cylinder, taking the axis of the smaller cylinder as the datum. Let's now understand how this total runout can be measured. For measurement of the total runout, initially a dial indicator is set in contact with the cylindrical surface of the part at one end of the surface. Then, while the part is being rotated about the datum axis, the dial indicator is made to move along a linear path parallel to the datum axis till it reaches the other end. During this entire traverse of the dial indicator, the reading of the dial indicator will be observed. The overall variation in the dial indicator reading should not be more than the specified total runout in the feature control frame. Unlike the circular runout, which will trace only the points on a circular element for a given measurement, total runout will trace the point on the entire surface. It traces a helical path on the cylindrical surface because of the two movements involved. One is rotation of the part about the datum axis, other one is the linear movement of the dial indicator. That is how total runout is three-dimensional in nature. Total runout is the stringent geometrical tolerance possible to be specified for a cylindrical surface because within the total runout allowable error, all other errors applicable to the cylindrical surface like circularity, cylindricity, circular runout, taper in the part, etc. will get controlled. Let us look into location category of geometrical tolerances. There are three tolerances under this category: position, concentricity and symmetry. All the three are applicable only for features of size, means axis, midplane and center point. They are not applicable for surfaces. Let us see what is positioning of an axis. There are two parts here. These two parts will get assembled like this. If you analyze the design requirement of these two parts for assembly purpose, diameter of the spigot in the first part and the diameter of the hole in the second part should be controlled. Apart from the two diameters, if you see the assembly, the positioning of axis of the spigot in the first part and also positioning of axis of the hole in the second part should be controlled with respect to the two side butting surfaces in both the parts. Then only the assembly of these two parts will take place properly. When GD&T is implemented for control of the spigot, the drawing will look like this. Here, the diameter of the spigot is controlled between the two limits and positioning of the axis of the spigot is controlled with respect to three datum surfaces. As a result of these two specifications, an imaginary boundary of 20 mm will get fixed with respect to the nominal position of the axis of this spigot. This boundary will prevent, with all the deviation possible for this spigot, any surface element of this spigot going outside the boundary. When GD&T is implemented for controlling the hole, the part drawing will look like this. Here also, diameter of the hole is controlled between the two limits and position of the axis of the hole is controlled with respect to three datum surfaces. As a result of these two specifications, now an imaginary boundary of 20 mm will get fixed with respect to the nominal position of the axis of the hole. With all the deviations possible for the hole feature, this boundary will prevent any surface element of the hole coming inside the boundary. Let us see how the design of these two parts will always make the assembly possible without any interference. In this figure, we see the axis of the hole and axis of the spigot are positioned with respect to the two side butting datum surfaces using common XY coordinates, that is 50 and 40 mm. In the actual manufactured part, there will be variation in these two coordinates apart from the variation in the diameter of both the features. But still, they will not violate under any circumstances a common boundary of 20 mm between them. In the worst case, surface elements of both the hole and the spigot features may just touch the 20 mm common boundary, but they will never interfere with each other. That is how the assembly will work. If a designer wants to design this part without using GD&T, then the drawing will look like this. Here also the nominal value of the diameter and the tolerance applicable to it are the same as in the previous case. But the x and y coordinates of 50 mm and 40 mm are directly given tolerance of plus or minus 0.1 mm. Now also, if there are variations in all these three dimensions, 50 mm x coordinate, 40 mm y coordinate and the diameter, the variation should be such that any point on the whole surface should not come inside a boundary of 20 mm. Then only this design will work. Let us see how this plus or minus tolerancing of xy coordinates will work. Plus and minus direction of xy coordinates in the assembly are shown here. If there is a shift of hole feature 0.1 mm in minus x direction and 0.1 mm in plus y direction, the shift in the point on the whole surface can be represented like this. Now for a variation of 0.1 mm in both x and y coordinate, the possible radial shift will be 0.14. Hole has got shifted radially, meaning is what? The axis of the hole has got radially shifted by 0.14, and there is a same amount of gap is there between the hole and the 20 pin. That is how this will work for us. Now, if both x and y coordinates vary in both plus and minus direction by 0.1 mm, the possible tolerance zone for shift of the axis of the hole with respect to its nominal position is a 0.2 mm square tolerance zone. Let us see what is the actual functional tolerance zone available for the shift of axis of the hole from its nominal position. In the figure, we see a hole of minimum diameter 20.28 mm, and the boundary which this hole cannot violate in the assembly represented by a pin of diameter 20 mm. Both the hole and the pin are centralized with respect to their nominal position x50 and y40. There is a radial clearance of 0.14 mm all around between the hole and pin surfaces. If you consider a shift of 0.14 mm in x plus direction and in y direction no shift, there is a gap of 0.14 mm between the two surfaces in that direction also. Hence, the hole can get easily shifted fully by 0.14 mm. That way, since there is a uniform radial gap of 0.14 mm between the hole and the pin surfaces all around, the axis of the hole can get shifted radially in any direction by 0.14 mm. In such a case, the tolerance zone available for the axis of the hole to get shifted is a round tolerance zone of 0.28 mm fixed with respect to the nominal position of x50 and y40. To make use of the functionally available round tolerance zone of 0.28 mm as allowable deviation for the position of the axis of the hole with respect to its nominal position during manufacturing, GD&T should be applied in the drawing. Now the drawing looks like this. The two XY coordinates 50 mm and 40 mm are shown as basic dimensions, and the two butting surfaces in the assembly are shown as datums. Now a feature control frame with a position symbol and a tolerance value of 0.28 mm with the dia symbol and datums A and B is shown below the dimension of the hole. Let us try to compare the two drawings without GD&T and with GD&T. As far as controlling the position of the axis of the hole is concerned, the two drawings will look like this. In the first case, the applicable tolerance zone for the deviation of the axis of the hole during manufacturing is a 0.2 mm square tolerance zone fixed with respect to nominal xy coordinates of 50 and 40 mm. In the second case, with respect to this same nominal position, a circular tolerance zone of 0.28 mm will get fixed. Let us try to superimpose one tolerance zone over the other and try to compare them. In the figure, we see that 0.28 mm round tolerance zone is a circumscribing circle over the 0.2 mm square tolerance zone. The relation between these two tolerance zones is diagonal of the square is equal to the diameter of the circle. If we calculate the area of the square and the area of the circle and take the ratio of the two, we observe that the area of the circle is 1.57 times the area of the square. Means with the round tolerance zone, the available area for the deviation in the position of the axis of the hole will be 57% extra. In case of both the tolerance zone, the maximum radial deviation available is 0.14. But this maximum radial deviation of 0.14 is available only along the four corners in case of the square tolerance zone, and in other directions the available radial deviation will be lesser than 0.14. Whereas in case of round tolerance zone, in all the directions the radial displacement of 0.14 is available. The meaning of this is, when the parts are inspected as per the first drawing, where the square tolerance zone is applicable, some of the jobs which are functionally good get rejected. Whereas in the second case, all functionally good parts will get accepted. The round positional tolerance applicable in case of a GD&T drawing, along with controlling the variation in XY coordinates and thus controlling the radial positional displacement of the axis of the hole from the nominal position, does one more important task. It will also control the inclination of the axis of the hole with respect to the bottom mounting surface within the positional tolerance zone. For that purpose, the bottom mounting surface of the part should be represented as primary datum in the position tolerance feature control frame as shown in this drawing. Let me try to explain the overall meaning of this position tolerance. Will be a cylindrical tolerance zone of 0.28 mm with respect to primary datum C, secondary datum A and tertiary datum B, and the two coordinates 50 mm and 40 mm are shown as basic dimensions. Initially, the manufacturer has to produce the three datums should be mutually perpendicular to each other. Then this part will get mounted on the machine and gets aligned with respect to the machine coordinate system. Now, with respect to datum a plane 50 mm apart and parallel to datum A will get fixed. And with respect to datum B, a plane 40 mm apart and parallel to datum B will get fixed. Intersection of these two planes is where the axis of the drilled hole is supposed to be. But there will be variation in the actual position of this axis with respect to these two datums, datum A and datum B. If GD&T is not used, the applicable tolerance zone will be a square tolerance zone fixed with respect to these two coordinates. But when GD&T is applied, the tolerance zone will be a cylindrical tolerance zone, which is circumscribing cylinder of this square tolerance zone. Now, with all the deviations in the axis, whereas radial displacement from the nominal position and perpendicularity with respect to datum C, etc., the axis of the hole should be inside this tolerance zone. That is the meaning of position tolerance applicable to an axis with respect to three datum. Let us see what is concentricity. Concentricity is always defined between axis of two features, and the tolerance zone is always cylindrical. In this figure we see there are two cylinders and one single axis is shown common to both of them. But practically it is not possible. There will be two axes. Axis of one may get shifted with respect to the other or it may get tilted. So that is where concentricity will come into picture. Here, taking the axis of the smaller cylinder as the datum, concentricity of 0.1 mm is specified to the axis of the bigger cylinder. Meaning of this is, if you see the end view, this is the datum cylinder and this is the axis of the datum. I want the axis of the bigger cylinder also to coincide with the datum axis, but there will be an error. But that error should be inside a cylindrical tolerance zone of 0.1 mm fixed with reference to datum axis. So that is the meaning of concentricity. Concentricity will not control the shape of the features. Concentricity can be defined for parts of these configurations also. It can be defined between axis of a cylinder and an ellipse or axis of a cylinder and a hexagon. As long as an axis can be defined for a feature, it can be controlled with respect to the axis of another feature. Finally, let us see what is symmetry. Symmetry can be defined between two midplanes, between two axes or one midplane and one axis, etc. In this figure, symmetricity is defined between two midplanes. The midplane of 30 mm thickness feature is taken as the datum. With respect to that, midplane of this 12 mm slot should be symmetrical within 0.08 mm. The tolerance zone is made of two parallel planes 0.08 mm apart. Let us try to understand the meaning of 0.08 mm symmetricity applicable in this case. Now, based on the tolerances given to 30 mm and 12 mm, the two end features what we see here may have maximum and minimum values. But when we say there is symmetricity between the two midplanes, within a pod, both the thickness values will be same. As we see here, both are 9 mm means the symmetricity error is 0. But if there is symmetricity error between the two midplanes, the offset possible between the two midplanes is only equal to half of the symmetricity error. On the other hand, if I measure the thickness of the two end features and take the difference between the two, that cannot be more than the 0.08 mm. So that is how symmetricity is checked between two midplanes. We have just discussed about these two drawings where concentricity is specified in the first part and symmetricity is specified in the second part. Now, if these two symbols, concentricity and symmetry, are replaced by position in the drawing, the meaning in both the cases will still be the same. Means even now in the first case, concentricity between two axes is being asked. Symmetricity between the two midplanes is being asked in the second part. Means concentricity and symmetricity symbols can be replaced by the position. That is the reason why in the 2018 version of ASME Y14.5 standard, concentricity and symmetry have been removed. Thanks for watching this video. If you have not watched the first part of this presentation, please watch it. I have given the link for that video in the introduction of this video. Please visit our website for details about our training programs. Thanks again.